absolutely magnificent. If it's as good as this, we'll be doing well. Now, this is actually a bit of fun. It seems a lot of work just to fry some potatoes, but, you know, I'm making a nice mayonnaise to go with it. So there's two steps. If you don't want to have the fried potatoes, I'm still showing you how to make some mayonnaise, which I've done before, but we'll do it again. First of all, 2 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks in your food processor, along with a good pinch of salt and about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. If I can get it out. There you go. That's about enough. And then we just put the top on and just whiz that up for, about a minute or so. And then what we're going to do is add 2 cups of vegetable oil. And when I say vegetable oil, I mean it. I find olive too concentrated, and we all know what an olive oil freak I am, because I love the stuff. Have it on my toast in the morning. Well, but for this, just a fairly bland oil is necessary, otherwise it takes over. And always put the oil in little by little. And I always make more mayonnaise than I need because it's a very handy thing to have in your fridge. All right, we're looking pretty good here. Now, you can just flavour it just with some fresh lemon or fresh lime or even some wine vinegar. But today I'm being a bit fancy and I'm making a Chipotle mayonnaise. So, Chipotle being a chilli that you buy in adobo. Now, adobo's the sauce, and you buy it in cans. Most supermarkets have it these days. And I'm going to put some fresh lime juice, the juice of 1 lime in there. Also going to put a couple of cloves of garlic. And the adobos, and I've just whizzed that up in a small processor, so I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons of that. It's got a bit of a kick. The Chipotle, of course, is a chili. So Chipotle and adobo, you'll find it in, as I said, most supermarkets. And also some chopped coriander. So we're putting some nice flavourings in here and some pepper. And then we'll just whiz it up very briefly just to combine it. All right, now the batter. Simple to make, but there's 2 things that are important. One, I've got a cup of lager, freshly opened, because you use the yeast that's in it. And I've also got half a cup of cold water and a bit of salt in there as well. And all we do is we add, whisking the whole time, we add some self-raising flour, but don't stop whisking. This is quite important, and a little bit of baking powder every now and then. I mean, you know self-raising flour has baking powder in it anyway, but I like to add a little extra just to give it a bit of lift and a bit of life. little bit more baking powder there. If you add too much flour and it's a bit thick, to thin it down, just add some soda water. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying, if you did by chance, you suddenly found, oh, that's a bit thick, because it should just coat your very clean finger or a wooden spoon handle just very lightly. A little bit more. Pretty close. All right. There we go. We're in business. Now, my potatoes, I've just got some kipflers, which I've cooked until they're almost tender. Then I cut them in half. They're nice tiny ones. So this is going to be a bit of fun, this dish, isn't it? A lot of work for some fried potatoes, as I said. But it's going to be delicious. Try not to break them up, but I don't actually mind, because sometimes when they're broken up, they're really, just really delicious. And they're sort of all different sizes and shapes. And then what we do is we just put them in our deep fryer without overcrowding at 180 to 190 degrees. Do them in 2 or 3 lots. All right, these are looking pretty good. Just have a look there, Brendan. They look delicious. Make sure you drain them really well. And nice clean oil always, please. And then we'll drain them onto a paper towel or two, and we'll finish off. They look good enough to eat. Now, can I suggest this is not something you have for dinner every night. This is for a special treat once in a blue moon. All right. Just salt those with some sea salt. I'll just grab another pair of tongs and a nice bowl for them to go into. Now, did I mention the beer should be a lager? I know it sounds ridiculous, but it does make a better batter than any of the other beers. Well, in my household it does anyway. And I'll get a few more chips in there in a second, but what I'll also do is get a nice bowl is this Chipotle and lime mayonnaise for you to dip them in. Pretty close. Alrighty. Once again, a little bit of sea salt. And into our bowl. I think I could have done with a bigger bowl. There didn't seem to be many potatoes there when I first started, did there? Actually, I was just thinking about mayonnaise. When I first started in restaurants 300 years ago, of course, we didn't have food processors, and we used to make the mayonnaise by hand. And I remember we had one boy, Mark was his name, and he just curdled the mayonnaise every single time until he lost his job. Every time. Who made the mayonnaise? Mark. It was always the same. All right, guys, let's just clean that up a bit. And there we have it. Some batter fried potatoes with a lovely chipotle lime mayonnaise. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. This is my lunch today. It really is. Excuse me, I'm sort of sweating a bit. I've been slaving over a hot fryer. All right, guys. As I said, this is not something you make every day, but for a special treat, it really is very tasty.
Your time starts now.
It has to be beautiful.
From the makers of the Great British Bake Off comes a precision baking challenge like nothing on earth.
Bring me something to wow me.
There's no place for half-baked showstoppers here. Just the best pastry chefs going round.
Time is up.
New host, new judges, new season. Bake Off, The Professionals, starts Tuesday, May 16 on Lifestyle Food.
Debt. Gone. Stress. Gone. Hassles. Gone. Too much debt? Beyond Debt has helped thousands of Australians with debt problems. You do have options. If you have debts of $8,000 or more, call Beyond Debt for a free consultation. Don't put it off. Life's better when you're Beyond Debt. Call 1300 871 603 now for a free consultation. Or go to beyonddebt.com.au.
Introducing the new Foxtel Kids app, our awesome new app just for kids. With their favourite shows. All in one safe place. Whether they stream to watch now or download to take with them. You know they'll always be in good company. It's included as part of the Kids Pack. Get the app today.
OK, Gogglebox Australia might be over for now, but don't fret. There's a whole new bunch of Goggleboxes to fall in love with. They've just got accents and drink more tea.
Are you with me?
No?
And when it comes to telly, just like us, they all love a good movie night.
Oh my God, he's starkers. And he got no clothes on whatsoever.
No.
Oh, I wish I had a 60-inch telly.
It's big. New Gogglebox UK, tomorrow 7:30 on Lifestyle.
Forget the rubber chicken. We're here to cook, aren't we? Thought it was very funny, though. I must admit. Anyway, we're doing some really nice tuna. I've got some beautiful tuna here. Just have a look at that, mate. Look at the quality of that tuna. That is superb. So I don't want to waste it. I need to cook something really nice with it. So I'm making a tuna niçoise. Now, when you're in Nice, you will find out that they basically make the salad niçoise with canned tuna. I think it works brilliantly with fresh tuna. And I'm going to do a slightly different dressing, a really nice, tasty dressing, just a bit of tang in it. A few anchovies in it, first of all, which will just give it a nice little tang. And we all know how much I love anchovies. And you notice my big tin? They've given me a Huey-sized tin now, not these little jars. So just chop that up and mash it a bit. And this is going in the dressing now. Be very careful with your salt in this dressing because the anchovies will add the salt. So don't go adding a whole lot of salt to the dressing. So we put that in our bowl with a few other goodies. In fact, lots of other goodies, to be honest. And I'll just grab a paper towel and just clean that board. Here we go. Now, to that, we then add some mustard, some Dijon mustard. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I haven't got a teaspoon, but I'll just do it like that. A good teaspoonful of that. And don't do it like this at home, all right? And to that, we're going to add some herbs. What I've got here is some chopped fresh basil and some chopped fresh thyme. So we've got those in there. We've also got some finely chopped red onion and a nice big plump clove of garlic, which I'll just cut in half to make it easier to put it through the garlic press. And some pepper. Decent amount of that. And also some red wine vinegar. Good slug of red wine vinegar. I have made this with sherry vinegar, which was lovely, but a bit more expensive, as you know. All right, just whisk that up a bit, just to incorporate that mustard. And what I will then do is I'll take that out and I will whisk it, adding some good olive oil. You'll have to whisk it again when you're using it because it will separate. But that should do for us. So we're just going to set that aside, just like that, with actually the whisk next to it, because I'll be using that again, and I'll just have a little taste to see what it's like. Now, am I going to tell you it tastes awful? Of course I'm not. That has got a wonderful tang. I always laugh about, you know, TV chefs, as if they're going to say that tastes like rubbish. Because they're going to say, oh, wonderful. And it is wonderful. Some olive oil on my tuna, some seasoning. I will put some salt on this, but not too much, because that dressing is well seasoned. And then we'll just toss it around so it's coated with that oil. You don't need to marinate it, just like that. And onto a hot grill, or your barbecue, whichever way. I will just wipe my hands because they're very oily. And once again, just lift it up. Why am I saying once again? This is the first time. Just lift it up. What happens then, it stops it sticking raw. Now, let's start talking about the Nicoise salad itself. What I've got here, just come and have a look here, mate. I've got some finely sliced red onion, that's optional. You can leave that out if you like. Little Nicoise leaves, some green beans which I've blanched, and some nice waxy potatoes which I've also blanched. So they can go into the bowl. All these lovely little numbers. But you do want waxy. These are kipflers. You want a potato like that. And as I said, the red onion is optional. I like red onion, but as long as it's very finely sliced. Also some whole olives. Now, just a little word of warning. Please tell your guests that the olives are not pitted, because I had a friend recently who works in a restaurant had a customer who complained bitterly because they reckon they've broken their tooth because somebody should have told them that the olives were not pitted. In the old days, they would never have been pitted. But anyway, so please warn your friends, because you don't want a sort of a bitter ending to the dinner party. Cherry tomatoes. So we've got the whole olives, cherry tomatoes, some capers, which I have rinsed really well, and another traditional garnish, some hard-boiled egg. Now, I have cooked those. They're actually small eggs. I've cooked those for 5 minutes, put them in boiling water, bring them back to the boil, then cook them for 5 minutes, then plunge them into cold, iced water. I've also got some Italian parsley leaves there, and we're keeping an eye on our tuna. We've got our salad ready. We're keeping our eye on the tuna. We've got our salad ready. We've got the dressing ready, which we'll just whisk up a little bit when we're ready. So I reckon a few minutes. Do remember, steak of the sea. That's what tuna is. So please, please don't overcook it. You know, keep it about medium at the most. A lot of people like it medium rare, but, you know. Here, come here. You can see how it's cooked. See along the side? So if you keep an eye on that side, you can see when it nearly meets in the middle, it'll be medium. All right, guys? So, as I said, keep an eye on it. Don't overcook it. And turn it every now and then. And if you want to get some nice grill marks, you can turn it like that. And as I said, 2 minutes. We'll be back. Finish it off. All right, we're looking good. let's just whip this off before it cooks anymore. Now that one could do with a bit more there, but it's pretty close. I'm only going to use one piece anyway, so don't worry about it. I've got my flat soup bowl there ready to go. Just put that down there. Give this a little bit of a whisk. Alrighty, now dress the salad generously. There is nothing worse than underdressed salads. Hate it. One of my pet hates. And just toss it carefully because you don't want to break up those eggs too much. You'll break them up a little bit, we know that, but not too much. And we'll then pull off that tuna because that one will be ready now. Grab our plate. Now, you could flake the tuna into it if you like. I actually like the idea of it being rested on the salad itself. Make sure you get a mixture of everything so that the next person doesn't find that they haven't got any eggs, they haven't got any dressing, haven't got anything. And we'll just lift that up with our finger, which, because you didn't notice that. And we'll put our piece of tuna on top. And if I had a spoon, if I hadn't used the blessed thing for my mustard, I could have used it for this. But anyway, just a little bit more dressing over and around. Just a little dressing over and around, and there we have a wonderful tuna Nicoise. I think even the dog would prefer that to the rubber chicken. Or maybe not. Just before I go, just out of interest, did you realise before they were famous, Ho Chi Minh was a pastry cook, Michael Caine was a porter at the Billingsgate Fish Market, and Benny Hill, this one I can believe, because he always was doing those skits about milkmen, he was a milkman. All right, on that note, I'm out of here. Cheers.
It's often called the fifth major.